Постоянно все валится из рук. Dem alles aus den Händen fällt. Постоянно все валится из рук.
Good morning and welcome from sunny Germany. It is the first week of March and this morning I followed my spring language learning routine. I like to mix up, change a little bit my language learning routine throughout the year to make it more fun, to make it more exciting. So in March, my concept is 4 times a week I'm learning Russian in the morning and French in the afternoon, which means that this afternoon / evening, depending on when I get back from work, I will be learning some French. And 3 times a week I will study Turkish in the morning, and in the afternoon / evening I will study Italian followed by Dutch. It's Sunday and Monday, it's Russian and French. And then Tuesday, Wednesday and Saturday, it's Turkish, Italian and Dutch. And this way it allows me to really keep up with all of my languages, to keep in touch with all of my languages. And I also think that regarding the forgetting curve, it is sometimes quite effective to take a break in between your languages, because we know that our brain, sometimes it needs to forget information in order to retrace it, to get it back from your brain, like 1 or 2 days later or a week later. And I did this concept now, I followed it for around 10 days and I really think it's effective. I really think I did make progress, and it really feels good for me if I'm doing all my languages, because in the past I've been only focused on 1 or 2 languages, but I still want to have a priority language, which at the moment is Russian and French, and doing them 4 times a week is quite enough, I think. What have I been up to in February? So the first week of February, work was crazy. And then the second week of February, the Olympics happened. And the third week of February, the Olympics happened. And in the fourth week, I did get back to language learning. And at the beginning of the Olympics, I watched it with a very bad conscience because I wasn't doing any language learning. And then I told myself, if you watch the Olympics, don't do it with a bad conscience, because it's like every 4 years, and this time it's in Europe, so the time difference isn't as great. And it's just one lifetime experience for these athletes, and I want to follow them, and I want to follow their successes, also their failures. And I mean, I obviously had to work during the week, so I couldn't watch everything, but I did watch quite a lot of biathlon. I watched figure skating in the evening. I watched free ski, which I didn't really know existed, but a little bit by accident, I followed the men's half pipe competition, and I was very intrigued by that. I thought, this is just so cool. Why didn't I know of that earlier? And then I also watched the women's half pipe final, and I got completely obsessed with Eileen Gu. I didn't know her name before. I didn't know who she was before, but I mean, this woman, she's just something else. I think apart from her athletic achievements, she has just such a brain, and she can talk very, very eloquently. And she has so many interests. For example, she told in an interview that she would learn Italian before coming to Milan to order something that she wanted to eat. And I thought that said so much about her, that she's not only competing like in three very, very difficult competitions, they're very different, and it's not only winning a lot of medals, and it's not only like a student at Stanford, but when she goes to Italy, she also tries to learn some Italian. And in general, I love to be inspired by intelligent people, and in general, at the Olympics, I think like seeing people who work so much and so hard for one specific goal, and at this very, very high level, and trying just their very, very best. And you can also apply this on other areas of your life, for example, in language learning, or whatever you do and whatever passion you follow in life. So in this regard, I always found the Olympics very inspiring. What else happened? So I realized that in March, my workload will be a little bit less, because at the beginning of this year, it was really crazy. So January and February, I was working 60, 70-hour work weeks, which is not very usual for me. I usually really have a normal 9-to-5 job. And I'm really not made for this life. And then I really couldn't learn a lot of languages, and I felt really bad about it. It wasn't really a matter of time. I still had time, but my mental energy, my mental capacity, it was just not there to learn something in the evening. I was just tired. I wanted to watch Netflix. I tried to do that without a bad conscience. It is for me like that the autumn and winter months are pretty intense and pretty busy, and then spring and summer are a little bit smoother, which is actually nice, of course, because like spring, we love summer and spring and you can be outside. And in the winter month, I don't really mind sitting in an office when it's dark outside. But I really hope that I can keep up with my languages. And I also have decided now which language I want to start learning in June. It will be Spanish. I will be learning Spanish and really focus on that for the month of June, July, and August. I am super, super, super excited for it. So yeah, but now it is 9 o'clock and I have to go to work. This is the look of the day, my yellow cashmere sweater, which I'm obsessed with. And then I always try to leave my flat relatively tidy, clean everything up, so that when I get back in the evening, then I can just sink immediately into my evening and start my language studies. I also have decorated for spring, so we have a little bit of yellow. We have these tulips. Some more tulips are here. Let's go to work. I am on my way to Munich and I'm completely on my own. Good afternoon, good day from Munich, where I will be spending the weekend. It is Friday the 13th, and I'm here actually for a birthday celebration from one of my friends from university, which will take place tomorrow. It is in the far east of Munich, and I will see some friends of university, which I haven't seen in quite a while, so I'm very excited for that. But tonight is a solo date with myself. I'm taking myself to the Bayerische Staatsoper, the Bavarian State Opera, to watch Faust. It's a French opera that premiered last Sunday, and you can also watch the production on Arte, the French-German television. I think it is a nice production, not too exciting from what I've seen, but the Faust, I think he's hot. Also Mephisto, I think he's also hot, so promising night. I spent 150 euros for my ticket. It's quite an expensive evening, but yeah, why not? When this opera came out in the middle of the 19th century, the people said, "Oh my God, how could a French composer take on our German Nationalheiligtum Faust?" But he did, and it's quite a pretty opera. The weather is nice today. I just had a stroll around the city. So it was also the weekend of the Munich Security Conference, which takes place once a year. And so it feels very safe because everywhere is police, everywhere is security in the city. There are quite a few important statesmen and leaders who are expected here in Munich. I think Zelensky might be here, also Marco Rubio is going to be here, also Gavin Newsom from California is meeting Friedrich Merz. So a lot of important people. Language-wise, Friday is a fun day because it's French and Dutch, and I listened on my train ride. I had a 2.5-hour train ride to Munich, and I listened to the newest episode, the newest aflevering of the Easy Dutch podcast. And tonight I'm going to see a French opera. That must be enough. And other than that, I'm not really going to study lots of languages this weekend.